Coach, you challenged your guys after that loss in LA against the Clippers. Talk about competitiveness from tonight's game and the way that they showed up. How would you describe it?
Yeah, they responded. They definitely responded. That was the worst version of ourselves in LA the other night, from top to bottom. Myself, all the players. And tonight we challenged ourselves to go out there and put forth our best version of ourselves. And I thought we did that. The transition defense was not where we needed to be, but fourth quarter, 22 points allowed, only 35% from the field. I thought Jeremy Grant's defense on Pascal Siakam, an all-star starter, was terrific. I thought Gary Harris and Torrey Craig, their defense on Kyle Lowry, another all-star, was terrific. And my favorite stat was 38 assists on 47 made field goals. The ball was just flying. Guys were playing for each other, and they're a good team. And they got 42 wins. So for us to come back, Katie, and get a win against a quality opponent and feel better about ourselves after a tough loss in LA is great.
You had 8 players finish in double figures. I'm going to ask you, whose performance stood out?
I would say, even though Nikola had a triple-double, and other guys play well, I thought Jeremy Grant's performance, I think he had 6 assists in the defense that he played, and I thought Torrey Craig off the bench was phenomenal. And I give him so much credit because after the OKC game, I kind of went to a 9-man rotation, and he was the odd man looking out. I kept imploring him to stay with me, letting him know how important he is to this team, and tonight he showed it. So, yeah, I think everybody was phenomenal, but I would say Jeremy in that starting group, and your Bud Light sub of the game was Torrey Craig.
You mentioned the fourth quarter. How did you guys pull it together and step up defensively in that quarter?
Well, I mean, you heard us. Every time out, we have to get back. We have to get back, make misses, turnovers. They were just running down our throats. And that was the frustrating part about tonight. Even when we executed and got the right shot and scored, they were still beating us down because we were jogging back and they were sprinting. I thought in the fourth quarter, obviously, I thought we did a much better job of making them play a half-court game. And once they did that, we had guys step up to the challenge and guard. And, in the fourth quarter, that's when you want to be at your best, and that was definitely the case tonight.
One of the qualities of your team as it's climbed the ladder in the league is not letting things snowball after kind of a bad performance here or there. What's the key to, you guys don't put forth a lot of losing streaks or just stretches where you're seeing multiple performances like the one you had the other night?
Yeah, I think the key in this instance, Nick, was that there's no panic. We were all disappointed in the game in L.A. We also knew that's not who we've been for a long period of time. Unfortunately, it happened. And you have to learn from it. But I think it's really important that myself as a head coach and a leader, you don't panic, you don't lose your cool, you be brutally honest, and then you more importantly tell them how we have to get back on track. And that was my message today. Hey, since the All-Star break, our defense hasn't been where it needs to be. The rebound, the turnovers have not been where they need to be. But most importantly, we have to play harder. And I thought tonight was a good indication of us hopefully moving in the right direction.
Coach, in a normal game where your team is fully healthy, are there 64 minutes you can find in your rotation for Harris, Craig, and Porter, as there were tonight?
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's a good problem to have. There's only so many minutes to be had. I'm trying to go to a smaller rotation because I think that is going to allow us to have the best chance of having success. But I also know that our depth and the many guys that we can throw out there is also a quality that most teams don't have. So that's why a guy like Torrey Craig, who may have been out of the rotation, staying ready and goes out there and has a huge impact on the game. Paul Millsap doesn't go tonight, somebody else is going to get an opportunity. So when fully healthy, we'll see what happens. But I love the fact that I have a lot of options to choose from.
You said in LA that you were just really disappointed with how you guys approached that game. What was different, if anything, tonight, and just kind of what needs to be different from an approach kind of factor going forward?
Well, the difference was, we didn't want to get embarrassed. I mean, we were humiliated in LA. And unfortunately that happens. It's happened to a lot of teams in the league this year, and it will continue to happen. That's the nature of the business over 82 games. I think for us, Harrison, it's making sure that we have the proper respect for the opponent we're playing and understand at this time of the year, now with 22 games to go, the urgency that is needed. We can't ease into games. We can't ease into these final 22 games. We have to have an urgent mindset if we want to hold on to our positioning, make a move, and not fall down the standings. And tonight I thought was a good showing by us, not just in how we played and the win, but also in the urgency that was needed. I liked how we started the game tonight.
Was part of your defensive game plan to make Siakam play in traffic? Because that was another big number, 6 for 21 for him from the field, and it seemed like you had 2 or 3 guys around him a lot of the time.
Yeah, it was. I give most of the credit to Jeremy. You know, he guarded him straight up. Obviously, with Paul not being able to play, that was going to be Jeremy's matchup. Very similar athletes, length, quickness, and I think Pascal has the advantage a lot of nights when he goes against opposing power forwards. With Jeremy, I think he's very similar in terms of what he brings to the table. And then obviously we want to be a team that provides help, doesn't leave a guy on an island to play one-on-one. Pascal is a big drive and spin player, so when he drives and spins, we wanted to be there to give some help and show him a crowd and maybe try to get the ball out of his hands.
There have been so many conversations about Gary Harris's shooting slump, and now since the All-Star break, he's really taken a step forward. How much more dangerous does he make you when he's out at this level?
Well, I've said it all along. We're not going to be the best team we can be without Gary Harris. And, you know, I know there was a lot of talk about Gary and this and the other thing. I don't listen to that noise. To me, that's what it is. It's just noise. I know full well what Gary is capable of. I know full well in my 5 years here how important he has been to the development and rise of our franchise and our program. And I'm going to stay with him. And tonight, obviously, he was terrific. 6 of 7, 3 of 3 from 3, 15 points, and unbelievable defense. You can't ask much more from your starting 2 guard.
Thanks, everybody.